Hey guys, it's Victoria again, back with another video. All right, so this one is going to be a review or back testing, if you will, on the dollar CAD. I'm really starting to like this pair, guys. I am. I traded it this week and it was quite nice, I have to say. So as usual, I'm going to start with H4, right? I'm going to take a look at the pattern and where we are now, okay? And let's just get to it. Okay, so here I see this gigantic M. Obviously, the harmonics kind of told me so. Right here, this kind of to me is like the anchor, right? That's how I look at it. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but that's just how I look at it. Okay, here's our first pullback to the EMAs, and then here's another pullback here. And so now we're going into level 3. The EMAs are starting to spread out, right? So now we're down here at the low, and we're expecting this thing to give us a nice reversal and go up. So I'm projecting it's going to be long for this week. It's looking like it's going to be long. So we just have to kind of see when that's actually going to happen. Okay. All right. My mouse is acting up a little bit. I may have to change my batteries. Okay, so let's clear that. So now let's hop on over to H1. As you can see, I've already started with my back testing. So what does back testing help you to do, right? A number of things. One, it kind of helps you to see what's going to happen in real time, right? So the more and more that you practice going back and seeing what happened the previous week, you know, maybe the previous 2 weeks, then the most important part is when it's for real, when it's happening for real, you know what I mean? What do you think is going to happen next? All right. So again, we just identified the pattern where we think it's going to go for this week. But for this past week, you know, we've had opportunities to buy and to sell, right? To go long and to go short. I guess I should, yeah. Maybe when I say the word buy, that just kind of means both things, right? So we had the opportunity to go long and short this week. So if I'm looking at this chart, I'm just going to do the week back test. I don't want to make this video too long, but I want you to start practicing, right? Spotting these setups, right? So here, this looks to me like a multi-session W, okay, right? And I can see it right here at the TDI. So we have our multi-session, we have our W here, and I can see it here, the TDI. And here, guys, is, I believe that's the 20 or the 30. I got to put my cursor on there to see that. 30. Yeah, so that's a 30. So when you see that, guys, it's like a heads up for the next day. Really, it is. Right. And then it came back here and it bounced off of this again. And it gave you an opportunity for an entry right there. Okay. That was a beautiful entry. Now, let me see something here. Now, another thing, guys, remember, I always talk about the pattern is most important. The time that you show up to the market is also very important. And then you have your 3 ADRs, which is very important to help you to see when the trend is going to change. And oftentimes you can see that when you have these multi-sessions occurring, but it also could just be prices just resetting or whatnot. But nonetheless, when you see these second leg W's and these second leg M's, they're usually one of the best trades ever to take, okay? Best trades. So this one kind of looked like a double. So anyway, we see that there. Clear that. Okay. So we come to the chart. And again, my time is 1300 when I show up at the chart. So for me, let's go break this down a little bit, right? Out of London, the Asia, that's not really London, this is Asia box, right? So this thing did a stop hunt low, right? Came out of Asia, do a stop hunt low. So what you could do is you can, I'm gonna go ahead and, if I come to the chart at this time and I'm like, okay, this has already happened right here. So let me just draw this, right? Let me just draw this right here. So now I'll be looking for my entry to go long. Okay, I can see what's already happened, right? We can see that the RSI has crossed over the market baseline. We got the trade signal line that is, it's curving up. I can't see this yet, right? But what I can see is this thing is coming close to crossing. And this is on, oh, sorry, this is Friday. And this is at 1300 when I would show up at the market. So this is telling me that this is done, the stop hunt low, right? Waiting for the 3 taps and then it's going to rise. Okay, so let's hop on down to M15. Let's go back. It's fine, there it is. Okay. I guess I should have known when I did that it was going to mess me up. Sure, you guys know by now, I don't use TradingView. I use everything on MT4, right? Because all my indicators are here and it's free and I like free, okay? All right, so there's my little box here. And as I drop down to the M15, guys, I can see that it's consolidating, right? So, but I know that this thing is safe to go long. I can totally enter it early here if I want to. But if you still are in doubt, you can wait for the entry. You can wait for prices to cross above right here. And the good thing is this yesterday's low, this is the daily high, this is the high, this is the daily low indicator is right there. Okay. Chances are the 13, oh, hold on, my auto scroll is on. Let me turn off that. That's what's messing me up. There we go. So right here, you can totally enter. I mean, this is a safe entry. If I was to come here on at 1300, this is really 3 a.m. for me, right? Because I'm in Pacific Standard Time. If I came here on this Friday and I saw this trade and it already did all this and it's crossed over the market baseline and it's giving me this little pullback here, yeah, this is the entry. I would have totally entered here, okay? But you can wait and you can wait and enter right above yesterday's low and check it out. The 50 EMA is right here as well. Okay, so that's another safe entry for you all. And then you can always exit at the 200 EMA. Okay, it's a great exit. Can't even talk. Great entry and a great exit right there. And that trade is pretty much done for the day. Okay. It's about 30 pips, 31, 32 pips. You know, it's not bad. Yeah, you had to suffer some pullback here, right? But that's okay. It's going to happen in New York. You're going to have some kind of pullback. So just remember, you guys have access to this work time indicator. And the work time indicator, you can add so many things. You can add the stop hunt box up here or down here. You can add, you can have it outline New York, the entire New York, but I just have it marking the open. So this is London open right here, and this is the New York open for me right there. Okay, so that trade is done, guys, right? We move on, we wait for the next day. So I'm going to go back to H1, here and see what's happened on Monday. So the weekend, you know, this is the weekend too. So obviously you're not holding this trade, right? I'm not holding this trade over the weekend. Sometimes I do, guys, and get lucky, right? But usually I don't hold the trades because I don't know what's going to happen. If they're going to do a big spike or not. You know what I mean? Because that happens. I've seen that happen. I'm like, whoa, I'm glad I didn't hold that trade. All right. So the next day, Monday shows up. And again, here I am on my box, right? Here I am. So let me move this over. And I show up right here. And I'm looking at this, and this is the Asia range. So this is type 1. I believe this is type 1, right? It's type 1 trade. So we're at the high, looking for a stop hunt high drop. So I'm going to take my little box and I'm going to drop it right there. That's when I showed up. Okay. And I may just extend that because let me just drop down to the 15-minute real quick on Monday. Okay, so I'm looking to go short. Prices are here at the high. I'm looking to go short. So I have my boxes up here because this is going to help me with my stop hunt. Okay, the 3 taps to the high and then it dropped. And this particular pattern to type 1, you're looking for the second leg. So this would be the second leg, but this hasn't happened yet, but I'm waiting for it. Okay, and I'm looking at this TDI. The previous day we had a shark fin, right? And that's a good telltale sign when you have a shark fin that the next day you're going to have an opportunity to counter. Okay, so let's drop down to the M15 on Monday. Okay, where's my marker at? There we go. Monday. I know you guys are seeing some extra stuff on my chart here. I'm just testing stuff out. So until I feel like it's going to be a fit to my strategy, then, you know, I'll be telling you guys about it. Okay. So Monday, I am here, right? We have this consolidation here at the high. So I'm just waiting for this thing, right, to drop. So if I come here, I'm like, well, it looks like this thing ain't gonna happen till New York. I mean, that's the only time I'm gonna have an opportunity to counter this thing. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna wait. So I can even extend my box out a little bit more, right? And then when New York comes, boom, entries right there. Let's see. This was a good exit, right? It's 37 pips, right around there. Okay. You can always look left to find out where your targets are going to be, right? If you don't have any EMAs available, any ADRs, if you don't have the yesterday's high or low as a target, then your target's going to be either pips or market structure. Okay, that's what your target's going to be. So that trade is done, right? So now we're on to the next day. I always go back to H1, right? Always go back to H1 because now we're on to Tuesday. If I can get this to land at 1300 right away, that'd be awesome. And so I'm looking back and seeing what happened, right? I went short right here, right? I got me about 30 some odd pips. I'm happy with that. It looks like it pulled back, right? It gave us another M right here in Asia. This is not me being available. This is a beautiful trade because look at this, guys. We have a beautiful Asia. And I remember we did this in the gold one. We have the Asia range here, and we have the market line baseline bounce. So when you see this, this is golden. This is money, right? You have your railroad tracks, boom, enter that trade, okay? Enter that trade. That is the trade right there, okay? Beautiful entry. All right. So that would have been your trade. I missed that trade because I'm not available. But if you are available for that trade, then that's your trade for the day, right? And if you want to be greedy, right, you want to wait for this to complete and wait for the next setup. Okay, because it came back out of the market. What is this? The blue volatility lines, a little shark fin here, and it crossed back over. Okay, this was after London, all right? So this is London and this is New York. So none of this has happened yet. So if I came here, right here, then I would be waiting a little bit. So I would say, let me look, let me drop down to the 15 minutes. Let's look for my entry. Okay. Let's look for my entry. So I would come here and I would have seen that we have this beautiful divergence here. We have the tap here to the volatility lines in for the low, the 30. Okay, you can see the 30 low. And then we have another tap to the 30 low here. And then you can see that the reversal dot has shown up. So that's telling me that, basically telling me that the IDC, the 3 pushes from here, from this second leg is done. And so now here comes the reversal, right? You always want to wait for the 3 pushes. If you can't count the 3 pushes here, drop down to the 15-minute and count them, okay? Let me draw my little box. Okay. So, I mean, this is a beautiful reversal right here. This is a morning star pattern right here, right with that dot. So this is nothing but a beautiful entry to go long, right? And I am available for this. So excited, right? So I would enter right here. And you see how, look at the TDI. Entry is right here. I have a couple of targets, right? I could put 2 orders. I can put one right here, yesterday's, I think that's yesterday's low. And then my final target will be here at the 200, right? So in all, that's 40 some odd pips. If I put 2 orders on there, I would have got 20 and then plus 40. So about 60 some odd pips or so if I did it that way, okay? So now that trade is done. So we're back waiting for the next setup, the next day, right? Now you guys are gonna have to do this based on when you show up, right? When you show up to the markets, that's what you're gonna have to do. Now, first things first, I notice is this. So I'm gonna get my little box. I'm gonna draw my box from here. Probably gonna extend it out a bit, and I'm just gonna wait, right? Because that's my area of resistance that I'm looking for, right? If prices don't come back up there for New York, then I'm good. Because right now, as you can see, London is done, but it's doing nothing. It's just consolidating right here. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for New York to see what happens. So I'm gonna drop down to my 15-minute. Okay, it's Wednesday, 15-minute, still a whole lot of nothing, right? I'm gonna wait. And then when New York comes, guys, look, we have what I'm looking for. 1, 2, and then this is kind of like the 3. So my entry would be right here. My exit would be right here. Why? Because this is the yesterday's daily low. This is a low, right? So that is my target. Okay. So from here to there, that's 40 pips. That's a good trade, y'all. Done for the day, right? So then Thursday, go back to H1. And then I see this peak, right? So remember, I was done here. I was done with this trade, right? So Asia came in, boom, it dropped again, right? All the way down to the low. So when this shows up, I'm like, okay, we're about to go long. Sometimes it goes long that day. Sometimes it goes long that next day. But nonetheless, this is telling me that I need to be careful and to look for the long, right? So real quickly, I'm already looking at the TDI and I'm like, okay, we have this bounce here, boom, we're above the market baseline, okay? So now I'm just looking for my entry here to go long for the day. So I'm gonna go drop down to 15. Okay, here we are. Okay, So right when I get here, I do nothing, right? I do nothing but wait. I'm like, okay, we're in the middle of it. London's happened and it was consolidating that whole time. Again, I said, I'm looking to go long here. So I come and I'm just going to wait for New York, right? Sometimes you just have to wait for the market open box to do its thing. Okay. So once it done that, this, look, we have this beautiful reversal. This is a morning star pattern that happened right here. Okay. So this, guys, would be my entry right here. This will be my entry. And then look at, I'm entering this thing here. This is literally when the green RSI is crossing over, and then the trade signal line is crossing over, right? And then I have the morning star pattern to give me the okay to enter. So I would totally enter right there. Okay. Now I have two options for exits here. This is one of those ones that you would manage, because this little reversal thing will probably show up around here, right? So your first exit could be there. And look, that was the yesterday's high. So if we went from here to here, that's 45 pips. Who's mad? Not me. That's good right there, right? The other option is to wait for that to be done, right? You can also use the TDI. I keep forgetting to mention, you can use the TDI when it crosses over. And we've talked about, like here's when it crosses. You could have gotten out here. Right. But once this thing settled, guys, that for me could have been my exit too. But for me, I probably would have taken it right here, maybe held it a little bit, but for the most part, 45 pips, hey, that's more than what I need, right? That's good right there. So I would have taken it right there. But you can also use the TDI. When this thing crosses back over, that is your exit. Okay. And then that's it, right? The trade is done, right? Be happy. All right. So now we're going to move on. Going to the next day. Go back to H1. Okay. When did I show up? I went to sleep, woke up at 2 in the morning, got to the charts at 3. Okay. So I stopped my long trade here, right? So then this thing dropped. If you were available for this reversal, this is a good entry right here in Asia. And again, I was not available for that. It's another 40 some odd pips. Okay. So what I would do, again, I'm drawing my box. Draw this box here. Looking for my 3 taps to the low before I go, right? So let's look at the TDI. Right, TDI right here is down still, right? It's still down. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to see what happens in New York, and I'm gonna wait to see what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna drop down to the 15 minutes, and I'm going to wait for my entry. So now we're here waiting to see what prices are gonna do, okay? And check this out. By the time New York got here, right? Now we can see the RSI is now moving. The cross has happened here. Okay, New York is still flat, but we know that we're going to be going long pretty soon. And then here is another W. So this is like, you can call that an anchor if you want. Look at that right here. And it's right above the market baseline. So this W is like hidden in here, right? Can't even see it right there, but it's hidden in there. Okay, so that would be, this would be my entry. And my exit would be right here at yesterday's high. Okay. Look at that beautiful trade. 50 some odd pips, 53 pips, guys. Come on. It's Friday. Cash out. Have a great weekend. Okay. Now that is the back test for the dollar CAD. Now I just, I started this video with my view on it going long. So we'll see, right? We shall see if this thing is going to go long, or let me clear this. If it's going to go long, or if it's going to continue short, because I don't know. I always tell the team, everyone in the group, hey, the 200, you want to be careful here. You might think, because last week I was thinking the dollar, no, it was the pound Aussie, right? It was looking like a beautiful safety trade, right? But it was approaching the 200, right? You always got to be flexible at the 200 because it ended up being a zero peak formation high, right? The trend continued to be short. So this could go long or this could go short. I don't know. So once the market, fully develops, we get into the London stop hunt, that's when I'll kind of have an idea if this thing is going to continue to go, if it's going to go long or if we're going to go short. Right now, I'm not sure, but I'm going to be ready for whichever way it decides to go. Be flexible. Don't trade what you think, trade what price is doing. But remember, the Mayo is always an area where price can reject, right? And gives you 2 pins or 3 pins, and you're going short, or it forms a beautiful second leg W and you go long. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Until the next time, trade strong. Okay. Plan your trade, trade the plan. See you in the next video.